changing my voice. It's Proverbs 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Obviously, if one is supposed to be the leader and no one but God testifies on their behalf, one should point it out. Okay? Just like I point out that I'm not gay. In a sense, that's boasting in this society where everyone has folded, but me, it seems, and they pretend to be gay, they act gay, they've turned gay. Stone is heavy and sand a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. It's interesting when I talk about people provoking me. Now, only a dumbass thinks I should take on the oppressor's philosophy, whatever mental health would recommend, whatever the LGBT community would recommend. Okay, philosophies that don't express intense masculinity, especially in order to avoid being provoked so I could do God's work. That's not an option. God's work must be done in the way that God would have the top martial artists do it, not in any of your cultures or ways. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Better is facing your enemies and saying that they're wrong and telling them why, than saying you don't want to hurt their feelings because you care about them. There's a lot of applications for that verse, and that's one of them. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Just because they're kissing your you-know-what doesn't mean that they're on your side. Okay? Better is open rebuke than kissing someone's ass and empty compliments. One who is full loathes honey from the comb, but to the hungry, even what is bitter tastes sweet. Again, honey has been compared to wisdom. Okay? So, if I don't need to be told it, then I'm like, what the hell are you telling me it for? But all of you need to be told it because you don't understand or you would obey. That's what it says in Psalms 119. It said, I understand more than all my elders, for I obey your precepts. I discern more, I understand more, I'm wiser, I'm above them. See, people need to be told again and again, and you need to be disciplined as you do the wrong thing. Like a bird that flees its nest is anyone who flees from home. Obviously, it's stupid for me to leave here, especially when they're messing with my eyes. They could blind me in another state where I don't know anybody. It's not exactly the master move. They do bitch-ass shit like change my voice to try to make it sound like I'm scared. Do you think I'm scared of these bitch-ass motherfuckers? No. Think I'd be doing this for years if I was scared? No. And these are some beta idiots. Their ways are an abomination to God. Anyway, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Right? Heartfelt advice. Open rebuke, heartfelt advice. Okay, wounds from a friend can be trusted. Okay, accept the correction and discipline from the King of Kings. Try to be the King of Kings' true friend by obeying God through him. What would you do unto others as you would have them do unto you? What would you do? What would you have people do if you were the King of Kings of the most important time in human history and you knew damn well people should rally and everyone else knows that too? They're just acting like cowards. Okay? You would want them to rally and obey. And that's what you should be doing here. And the greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your being. And I am the gate. I am the only way to love God. So you're all guilty of breaking the greatest commandment, the golden rule, and basically every rule in the Bible because it's all connected. Where are we here? Do not forsake your friend or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor than a relative far away. So should attractive women forsake the King of Kings for their invalid marriages, for their mere human rules, customs, and traditions? Should they forsake me for their father's house? When in Psalm 45 it says, forget your people and your father's house. Not forsake God's son for your people and your father's house. You God's plan in reverse type of people. We'll say, be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. Okay, so people can't answer when I have a contempt for the wicked. I look at the faithless with loathing, for they do not obey your law. God detests those whose ways are perverse. Jacob he loved, Esau he hated. Why? Because of the ways was the moral. The ways of Jacob when he was doing the right thing is what the moral is there. Okay? So if you do not act wisely, your ancestors in the spiritual realm can't answer. When they're in the spiritual realm and they're in the realm that they know for sure God controls, versus the agnostics here, for example, what can they say? They say, why are your offspring persecuting God's son? They're like, well, because we're bitches? Okay, there's nothing they can say. So be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. That goes for breeding. Stop breeding no matter how good you think you are. The prudent see that it's time to stop breeding. It's been time. The simple go like, I just can't keep my legs closed. I'm a dumb bitch. Right? Stupid. Anyway. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. Again, fine linen stands for the righteous acts for the saints. So you have no righteous acts if you're co-signing with the wicked, who are strangers to God and God's Son. So you have no garments. They're taken away. If anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Babylon's global system is their wife, and they quarrel with God by aligning themselves to her. And also has applications in your literal wife and so on and so forth. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil in the hand. Okay, so it says submit. Not only should attractive women prefer God's Son, but they should submit and not be quarreling with God by refusing to have the discipline, sense, integrity, fidelity, insight, wisdom, discernment to submit. 17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Think sparring as well. The one who guards a fig tree will not, the one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruit. The one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruit. And whoever protects their master will be honored. Again, by shunning me, females are waging war against God and are not part of his army. They're leaving me vulnerable. If you know this guy grows up with intimacy needs, because he's a king, right? Romeo, God is love. God isn't like a Buddhist who withdraws from society and decides not to pursue romantic love. God is love. God is a warrior that faces adversity for love. The Lord marches out like a warrior, like a champion. It says in Isaiah 42:13. Okay? Whoever does not protect their master will not be honored, is the opposite of whoever protects their master will be honored. Remember we saw in Proverbs 18:9, one who slackens his work is brother to one who destroys. Jesus said in the New Testament, whoever does not gather with me scatters. And the attractive female who does not present herself to me in submission and accept my judgment scatters, is slack in their work, is kin to the devil, etc. Verse 18 overkills this as well. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. What is your life? It's outside of the divine order. It's dating the wicked. It's listening to the wicked. It's having some New World Order culture. Even if you're off the grid. You're off the grid, you're slacking your work. You're probably dating the wicked off the grid. You're vulnerable to be raped by the New World Order minions off the grid. So you said, I'm going to escape. So obviously, if they go off the grid, they put themselves in a vulnerable position to be abused by the New World Order. They're more at their mercy. They come crawling on their knees more often than not. And it's easy to anticipate that. No one is the master of off-the-grid living in 2022, okay, because the New World Order can easily sabotage you and make you their slave even more. Okay? There is no simple way to proceed in life. But one must seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and not to retreat off the grid. Okay. 20. Death and destruction. Okay, excuse me. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise, their action-based praise. When you do not obey God through me, you do not exalt God, you do not praise God. You praise the wicked. P-raise. Okay? One's penis, for example. It is stupid that they put that in the wordplay like that, one could argue, but it's certainly to the point. Okay? Who are you dating? Who are you reproducing with? The penis is a phallic symbol. It also points the way, right? It always also symbolically points the way. If you're not mature enough to handle this, shame on you. Okay? So when somebody has an erection, it's pointing to a certain way. It says it's going to go in there. What's going to happen? The semen comes out, it impregnates the woman. Babies comes out, and depending on How many kids think what way is the direction of mankind? It's part of why you shouldn't reproduce. Okay, because it's over. There's too many wicked people. The unruly woman has multiplied the unfaithful among men. Okay, so who did you raise? What masculine patriarchal line did you raise? So think of, if you can't handle that, say P is for patriarchal line. Praise. P, raise. All right. Zion is the fire of the Lord, and Jerusalem in the sky is the furnace. People are purged out when they do not obey God through me. Remember, Isaiah 57 makes it clear the righteous are taken away from planet Earth to be spared from evil. And then it says, but you children of a sorceress, you who don't live in reality, you who have accepted white social norms, you have accepted the New World Order, da-da-da-da-da. All right, we're nationalists, we're liberals. Hey, it's fucking stupid. Okay? God is not white. God is love and righteousness and justice, not whiteness. Though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever, and a worldly crown is not secure for all generations. That's what it's referring to, a worldly crown. It says if you rule in an area with a crown on, you're like, I'm the president of America. Okay? The idea is that you're going to lose that crown. And even if the governing class stays in charge, because they're changing their physiology with transhumanism and technology, okay, in a sense, they lose that crown one way or another. When the hay is removed and new growth appears, and the grass from the hills is gathered in, and the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field, you will have plenty of goats, milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants, if you pay careful attention to your herds. But of course, the children of God, they are not trying to settle. Set El. Set, Baal's equivalent, and the pagan Canaanite deity El, a deity of nerds and homosexuality and what have you. Okay? They are the ones who settle in this world like complete idiots. A nerd is defined by nerds themselves as a foolish and contemptible person. Just like a frat person is defined by frat people themselves as a weirdo, a foolish and contemptible groupie, what have you.